And welcome back to Metro Morning Live. As we do each and every week, we invite Dr. Eldridge Henderson here to the show to talk business and other things. Dr. Henderson, of course, is he's a known speaker. He speaks at church events and community events and all over the place. Isn't that right, Doc?
That's correct, sir.
How you been?
I've been doing great, I guarantee you.
Well, Doc, we want to jump right into it. This is the political season.
That's correct.
And people want to know what the elected officials are going to do. They say this, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do this. How do we hold these people accountable?
Well, it's very simple. There's about a 30-step process, but I'm going to talk about 5 or 6 of them today. The first thing you need to do to hold a politician accountable, and I want you to understand, now when I say elected and public officials, I'm talking about the mayors, the councilmen, the school board president, the superintendent, preachers, and all of those people that are elected and appointed that's supposed to be taking care of the people's money and provide services so that people can have what we call a better life. Just that simple.
So how do you contact these people? When some people feel like you really can't call them, you can't call elected officials, or you can't contact them, they won't call you back. What do you do?
It's very simple. Now, I believe that almost anything can be done in 30, 60, 90 days. What most people don't do is they don't organize. They always criticize politicians. Before one goes to a politician, they need to organize on the basis of community organizations, form confederations. For instance, the NAACP, the Neighborhood Association, the Beauty Shop Association, the Young Business Association, the political clubs, all should get together and stop criticizing these politicians and then form a confederation, all of them get together, and get a select committee of 3 to 5 individuals that's going to be delegates for this organization, put their issues together, and you never should take a politician no more than 3 issues or problems that you want them to address. Just that simple. You go as a unit, and this 3-man team or 3-person team will be able to handle that problem from the beginning to the end.
So now, how are we assured that these people will listen?
It's very simple. I know you get tired of that word, it's simple, but see, most people just like to make things difficult. When you get this confederation together, all of these groups in your community or in your district, the first thing you're going to do after you get that confederation together is to make sure that all the folks in your organization and their close friends and relatives are registered to vote. Politicians will love you if you go to him and say, or her and say, I am representing 800 people. I have their signatures. They're all registered voters. They are in your district. I don't care whether you're talking to the mayor, the councilman, the supervisor, or the superintendent of the schools, or individual selected people that have been put on commissions and boards. They will respond if you do that. And then you make sure you set up a 1-page document with those 3 issues you want and ask them to support it after you be very nice and polite with them and find out what issues they are already addressing in the community. You already know, of course, because you've done your research. But you will ask them to see what they are doing, what they are thinking, and if they are doing something you already asking them to do. You have 3 issues. You go down to number 2. I guarantee you, very few politicians going to be working on 2 or 3 major problems at a time where they're getting good results.
Now, I know one of the big issues in Jackson, the pothole issue. We have potholes all around this university. And they've been there I've been here 2 years, and those potholes still been there. What should the tone be when you go talk to these officials?
Well,
because I would go down there angry.
No, you wouldn't do that.
Okay.
You have to go down talking to the politician as a human being. Since you mentioned Jackson, I didn't want to get specific, but I would say, Mr. Mayor, I understand that you are a graduate of blank blank school. You are a minister, and your children are doing well in school, and I just happened to be in Kroger's the other day, and I met your wife. You have a great family. But I'm here today to talk about something else, and that's when you put that 1-page itemized sheet on him saying, we want, number one, the potholes fixed. And then we want you to take care of the infrastructure, even though it makes no sense to fix the potholes before you do the infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Since we know you don't have the billions that it's going to take about $1 billion, I didn't say million now, mm-hmm. billion, mm-hmm. to fix the infrastructure and then refurbish it with good concrete or whatever you're going to use, mm-hmm. and then fix the potholes. Mm-hmm. But we have potholes that are from 5 inches to 18 inches deep, and we want you to address those in this specific community. We're not talking about citywide. All the folks have to get together and decide where their priorities are, mm-hmm. identify them, mm-hmm. and then present them to the politicians, and then say, we are representing this 800 or these 1,200 citizens in your district. Mm-hmm. Or you might have 5,000. And Mr. Mayor, we are going to work with you, and we're going to give you 30, 60, 90 days to address this issue, and we want to see some results.
Well, you know, Doc, your theme is 30, 60, 90 days.
That's right.
What if you don't get what you need or what you promise in 30, 60, 90 days?
Well, you don't expect to get it all the time, mm-hmm. but you better see some results. If you don't see that the mayor or whoever is you are asking to do something for you, if he has not put a team together and start addressing that issues by showing you and proving to you that he has a team that will be coming to your committee, to your community in the next 30-day period, mm-hmm. you go back then and you don't start talking about his family. The second time, you say, Mr. Mayor, you're not doing your job. Mm-hmm. We have put you in office. We love you, but we're going to have to start thinking about another mayor.
But what if it's an issue that he doesn't agree with? What if I go down there, I give me a coalition, and I say I want the Confederate flag to fly in every school, in every building in Jackson? What if it's an issue he doesn't agree with?
Well, if it's one he doesn't agree with, you still have to press what you want and ask him a very simple question. Mr. Mayor, I know you have previous priorities. You have said you're going to do 5 things once you get in office. What we want is not on the list. Now, how can we help you resolve your problem so you can get one of our 3 problems resolved in our community? We are serious and we are desperate. We need your help. That'll work. You don't go in fighting. You don't go in criticizing and condemning the politicians, because most politicians know when they get in office they can't solve all the problems, because that's why they are running.
Is it that easy to meet with them?
It's very difficult to meet with politicians, especially when they know that citizens are not happy with them. You have to start with that person who's going to answer that phone. You have to send them a series of emails, letters, and all kinds of things, unless you happen to see the mayor or the councilman at the local church or something like that, or you attended school with them, you're in the same fraternity or sorority, you might get an instant meeting then, but otherwise it's very difficult if they're having a lot of problems. They don't have time to visit with folks in their minds. Mm-hmm. They are suffering alone, mm-hmm. and they are usually working with the key staff, and they are confused. So when you get a lot of confused people together, all they do is do studies, shuffle paper, and just hope the press doesn't come in and ask what's going on. And then they're not going to tell them anything.
Well, Doc, we always appreciate your information. You want to tell everybody again when your show airs?
Well, I'm on the PED Network. Mm-hmm. That's channel 18 on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. and on Fridays at 5 p.m.
Okay. All right. And you're on this show as well. Thank you so much, Doc, and we'll see you back next week.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Hey, stay with us. More Men from Morning Live continues after the break.